All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Purpose Over Pleasure. Today's episode is dedicated to men. All right, fellas, I want to talk about something that has been on my mind for a while, and it's funny. I was discussing it today with my barber. I was getting a fresh fade, and what we're talking about is this saying, this common phrase that's going around, and I'm sure you guys heard it, and it goes something like this: "Happy wife, happy life." Okay, and I cannot tell you guys how much I can't stand this phrase. And let me break it down to you. I got some notes right here. I'm gonna go over it and I'll explain to you why. Okay, a lot of you dudes are caught up on this phrase, and I keep hearing it here and there. When I ask somebody to come out or do something or engage some kind of activities or go spend time together or whatever it is. But I heard it over and over again. Dudes saying, I can't go, I can't do this because, my wife doesn't let me do it or my girlfriend or whoever it is. And it's like, you know how it is. Happy wife, happy life, right? Wrong. That thing is a myth and it's absolute bullshit. And I'll tell you why. First of all, okay, you guys need to understand that there's three major pillars, okay, the foundation of how to love a woman. That's something that I've established with myself a long time ago, and I've been following ever since. You have to understand three things. Okay, those three things are: you have to love her, you have to respect her, and you have to screw her. You gotta screw her brains out once in a while. Okay, I understand we have busy schedules. I understand we got kids, a lot going on, business, whatever it is. But once in a while, you gotta do it. You gotta show the bosses around the house. But let me go with the first one, right? Love her. Women are emotional creatures, okay? They need that love and affection. They need to feel appreciated. They need to feel loved, okay? Unlike men, they need to have that energy and need to be surrounded by love and affection and kisses and hugs and cuddles. And basically, they need to feel like they're loved and appreciated. And different people have different love languages. So it falls upon you to figure out what your love language is first and to figure out what your woman's love language is. And it's not a guessing game. You can have a conversation. You can ask her, babe or honey, let's, sit down and figure out what our love languages are so we can better support each other and love each other and be better spouses or significant others for each other. So figure out what your woman's love language is and then love her through her love language, whether it's, gift giving, doing certain things for them, attention, spending time, listening to them, whatever it is, figure it out. And for God's sake, man, be a little more cuddly and be a little more affectionate with your women. They all like it. I'm yet to meet a woman that did not love cuddles and attention and, all that nice, cuddly butterfly shit. All right. The second part is respect her. You guys have to understand that for long periods of time, women had to fight for their freedom. They had to fight for their civil rights. They had to fight for their opportunities. Now it's different. A lot of you guys are born, especially the Gen Z dudes, you guys don't understand and you don't even know history of how women have regained their voting rights, their equal opportunity rights, etc., etc. But, before us, there were some important women like Sojourner Truth, and they fought for equality for women, for their civil rights. And they put in a lot of good work to give women today what they have. So you have to understand that you need to be able to respect your woman. Yeah, she might be saying something silly sometimes. Sometimes she might be, getting on your case or saying something that you don't agree with. But you don't have to necessarily shut her down right away. Okay? Listen to her, understand where she's coming from, because that will make her feel like she's respected. That will give her a sense that, okay, not only does he love me, but he respects me in my opinion. Now, granted, a lot of women out there will say stupid things, will get under your skin, and drive you crazy. I'm not talking about those girls, all right? I've dealt with plenty of them in my lifetime, and to this day, I see a lot of them out there. But if you have a good woman by your side, if you have a woman who supports you, who loves you, who's feminine, who's submissive, who brings peace and makes you a better person, then you better do that for her. You best believe you better, respect and love her and support her back as well. And number three, okay, I don't want to sound like one of those dudes, but I'm going to sound like one of those dudes. You got to find time to screw her brains out. Okay, I know we got kids, I know we got businesses, careers, a lot going on. I know that men nowadays have a lot lower levels of testosterone than previous generations. Okay, and I can go in depth about that. I've actually done my research pretty extensively on why it is that way, but maybe we'll dedicate another episode to that. But find the time, find the effort, whatever you need to do. Okay, give a little foreplay, make it nice and romantic. You know, invest in some dim lights, some music, some candles, a nice dinner, sweet talk, whatever you got to do, but get the job done. Okay, I'll give you an example. I had a girlfriend when I was in my 20s, and she would start a fight in the beginning of our relationship. She would start a fight very often, and sometimes over some complete bullshit. And one day I was like, listen, I was already fed up with another fight. I'm like, man, I don't know what I said. You're getting on my nerves. What do you want? And she flat out told me, like, you know what? I want to get some dick. And I was like, did you seriously start this fight all because you wanted some sex? And she's like, yeah. And to me, it was like, ta-da, I figured it out. And I've tested it over and over again with the following girlfriends. That is truth, fellas. Sometimes you just got to lay down the pipe. Okay? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You're a man and you have duties. And I understand you might be busy. You might not feel like it, but find time, make time, plan ahead, and make it happen. Okay? So those are the 3 pillars that I established for myself that I use to this day. And so far it's been working fine. Okay? The second reason why I believe happy wife, happy life quote or saying is a bunch of bullshit is because, first of all, you need to love yourself. First and foremost, you need to love yourself. Why? Because when you love yourself first, okay, and you respect yourself first, both of those things will give you happiness and peace. And when you're happy and when you're in peace, then you're able to genuinely and passionately love another person. If you're not happy with who you are, if you're fat, if you're just depressed, if you have anxiety, if you hate your job, you hate your life, you hate your friends, you sit on your ass all day, you eat garbage, you play video games, and you have absolutely no purpose and no reason, no vision, and nothing going on in your life, you will hate yourself. How do you expect to love somebody when you hate yourself? That is a big no-no. So love and respect yourself first. Invest in your own mental state, your well-being, develop your level of confidence, and after that, after you found that inner peace and you respect yourself, then you're able to give that love to other people and invest into another person. Okay, so that's the second one. The third reason is marriage itself. Okay, marriage is not a place to create happiness for both people, right? The point of marriage is not to have both people happy. Okay, happiness in marriage is a byproduct of a successful marriage, at least in my opinion, and from what I've seen in people who are married around me. Okay, marriage is creating an environment for peace, for mental stability, for spiritual growth, for self-mastery, for establishing a house for the children to grow up in. Okay, that's what I believe foundationally marriage is. Now, I'm not married, but I have been living with my girlfriend for quite some time now, and it's been going on pretty good. I can't complain. Just to give you guys an example, we've been living for a little over a year now, and we sat down and we did a little recap of what went wrong and what are the pros and the cons of us living together. And we came to realization that in 1 year, okay, in the span of 1 year, we only had about 3 or 4 bad arguments. And by bad arguments, I don't mean the type of argument where we would not talk to each other for days, okay? I mean, it's the type of argument where things have escalated, but it never got physical. We never called each other names, and we were never mad at each other for more than, I don't know, a day or something. We would sleep it off. We'd still sleep on the same bed, and we'd solve the problem right there then or the next day, and we'll continue to love and support each other, okay? So don't get it twisted. For you folks, for you young fellas, or the dudes who are married, understand that marriage is not there to make both people happy. It's a concept that you need to understand, and you both have to work on it. Okay, marriage should only be shitty if one person is doing most of the work. If 2 people are putting equal amount of work, some days one person does a little more, other days another person does a little more. But as long as you guys support each other, as long as you guys understand, like, okay, she's having a bad day, let me take off the load off your shoulders. Or some days you're having a shitty ass day and she'll come in and she'll support you. There's a balance. So find that balance. Okay. Grow together, work on each other together, support each other, and create an environment for your children to grow up in. Okay. Now, next one is do not place your happiness on another person. Okay. Because they will use that against you. They will manipulate the shit out of you and make you feel like the bad person. I'll give another example. The same girlfriend who used to start fights because she just wanted to get some sex was the person who I, being an immature early 20-year-old me, made her my happiness. Okay, and that was a horrible mistake because eventually she turned around and she threw it back in my face. And I learned from that relationship that I will never, from this point on, ever make anyone my reason for happiness. Okay? My own happiness became a priority. And ever since that point, I established that I'll be happy myself first. I will invest in myself. And when I'm happy with myself, with who I am, with with people around me, the way I am, then I was able to invest into somebody else. And we were able to together establish that happy environment. And I think it's important to mention that my girlfriend has done the same thing. Before we even met, we were two different people coming from two different shitty relationships, okay, that we left behind, and we were continuously working on each other separate from one another. So when we met, it clicked, okay? And we were able to this day have a very happy, thriving, and growing relationship where we invest into each other, in ourselves, support each other, and we became more successful. I believe my girlfriend was able to fall back into her masculine ways, into her feminine ways, and I was able to remain in my masculine ways without being, shit on, and become a better version of a man that I wanted to become. And I think that's what's making our relationship together so far so much better. And last but not least, don't be a bum so she won't treat you like one, okay? What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that if you're one of those dudes who are constantly sitting on your ass, like I mentioned earlier, playing video games, picking out fucking Cheetos out of your belly button, eating garbage food, have fat gelatinous titties hanging off your chest, you're just absolutely not investing in yourself, your mind, your spirit, your fitness, your finances, nothing, zero. You're a bum on the couch. And yes, some of you guys, I am talking to you. Some of you motherfuckers are bums out there, okay? In my books, and not only in my books, you are considered a very unsuccessful man in the eyes of other successful men, and also in the eyes of your women, your wives, your girlfriends, your fiancés, and worst of all, your children. How are you going to sit there and tell your children, go pursue your dream, follow your dream, you can do anything you want to do, when your ass is sitting on the couch playing video games? Now, I have no problem playing video games. I've played plenty of video games myself in my life, but I haven't touched the remote control for video games in the last, 6-7 years. As a matter of fact, I recently gave away my Xbox 360, which has been collecting dust under my TV for like 4 years or 5 years or longer than that. I just got rid of it. And I caught myself that I don't even watch TV. And I realized that because when I disconnected my Xbox, I also disconnected my TV. And I forgot about it. So the other day, my girlfriend was trying to turn the TV on for some reason. And I totally forgot. I didn't even connect it back. That's how much I don't give a shit about watching TV. Okay? I spend my time very wisely. I only have 24 hours in a day. Just like all of you guys, we only have 24 hours in a day. So everything I do is intentional. And everything I do has a reason behind it. So I can care less about sitting on my ass, watching TV, and playing video games. So my advice to you, don't be that dude. Because your woman will lose all respect towards you. She'll lose all respect for you. And then when a woman loses respect towards her man, it is the end of relationship. Okay? Here's the difference, fellas. Women want to be loved. They want to feel loved and appreciated. Okay? Men, we want to feel respected. Appreciated as well, but we want to feel respected. When a woman does not respect you, it was going to go downhill after that. And I've met plenty of dudes in my life whose relationships and marriages have gone downhill. They got divorced. And every single one of them said this thing to me. I feel like she doesn't respect me anymore. Well, no shit, dude. Look at yourself in the mirror. Do you respect yourself? Now with those fat titties hanging off, now with that belly, now with that face, okay? Now with that minimal amount of confidence that's, on your face. So respect yourself first. Develop yourself into a man that, requires certain things from himself, that holds himself to certain standards, okay? That has certain values. Become the man. Become the high value man. And to me, a man, in my eyes, is a high value man. Nowadays, people like to separate, saying he's a top G, he's a high value man. If you're a man, you are by default a high value man. If you're not a high value man, you're just a boy. Or like some of my friends call him, you're a soy boy. You're a weak ass motherfucker. That's what you are. So if you don't respect yourself enough, how do you expect your woman to respect you? Okay? That's not going to work. So invest in yourself. Get off your ass. Go to the gym. Work on yourself. Grow. Invest into self-mastery, self-development. Read books. Stop watching TV. Read books. Listen to podcasts. And invest in yourself. Make yourself the best version you can possibly be. Watch how things will change. Just watch it. Your woman will be like, oh, this dude is working on himself. He's a different beast now. I better respect him. I better not act a certain way. Because women will always test you. Women will always push your buttons. That's how they are. That's innate in them. That's what they do. And they do it for reasons sometimes. A lot of women test men to see how they react when they're angry, when they're being triggered. And I'll tell you why. Because she wants to know, if she was to have kids with you, kids are going to trigger the shit out of you. How are you going to be when your children are going to trigger the shit out of you? Okay, so they do it on purpose. And they also want to see if they're, somewhere out with you guys are having dinner, and some dudes try to start a fight with you. How are you going to react? Are you going to react like a grown man? Are you going to be calm? Are you going to be strategic? You're going to be confident? Are you going to be able to carry yourself and then defend yourself if necessary? Or you can act like a little bitch. Okay? And I'm not saying walking away from a problem, from confrontation is acting like a little bitch. No. If you ask me, unless somebody is threatening my life or trying to grab and put their hands on me, I'll walk away from the problem. At my age now, I've been into plenty of fights, and I understand now that I have a lot more to lose even if I physically win the fight. Okay? So I'll walk away. And I don't train and invest in myself because I'm scared. No, I do it because if I need to defend myself, I'll be able to defend myself and my loved ones. But if you can walk away from a problem, walk away from a problem. You win 100% of all the fights you can avoid. Okay? But don't be the type of guy who starts acting crazy, starts throwing stuff around, starts yelling, and just becoming angry and emotional. Be quiet. Be stoic. Control your anger. Control your emotion. But you don't get there unless you develop yourself, unless you make yourself a dangerous man. Okay? Unless you're able to deliver a certain level of violence, and you're able to do so, but you learn how to keep it under control. That's what makes you a good man. A type of man who is able to deliver a significant level of violence, but he always has it under control. That's what makes you a good man. Okay? All right, guys. That's all I have for you. Again, my only advice to you fellas is please don't be walking around and saying that happy wife, happy life. No. If you don't understand the meaning of it, I hope you can go back and listen to this little podcast episode and take some notes. Understand where that phrase comes from. Understand what's wrong with that phrase and that quote nowadays and how people misinterpret it. And understand that nothing will change in your life unless you begin to invest in yourself and work on yourself. That's all I got for now, fellas. Till next time. Take care.